There are certain levels of achievement in life you cannot arrive at without first breaking free from generational curses, those generational problems that have tagged along with you up until this point in your life. So if you find yourself struggling so hard to attain the things that you desire for yourself, I'm inviting you to take a pause moment, and look at the problems in your lineage. You understand? Look at the patterns. Look at the things that have been happening from your great grannies to your grannies to your parents, and then look at yourself. In this video, I'll be sharing with you practical ways by which to break free from generational curses. How to even know that you're having one in the first place, and how to get yourself out of it, like how to break free, how to heal from it. So I encourage you to watch the video to the end. Yeah, and before I get into all of that, if you're new here, my name is Pauline, and I bring you practical solutions to love affairs with yourself. I talk about relationship tips and secrets, starting with a relationship you have with yourself, and then the relationship with others. Because the relationship you have with yourself is where your miracle is, and that with others is a blessing. Yeah, and so I encourage you to subscribe and click the notification button so that anytime I drop a video, which I do every week, by the way, you're going to get notified. Like, Now, that said, what is it about ancestral curses? What is it about generational problems? Why do we really need to break away from? Like, how did they? Why should we be suffering for something we did not even cause in the first place? The reason is simple. They form a blueprint, like they become a motto by which you operate unconsciously. You get it? So you may find yourself struggling with certain things, desiring to be something else, but the opposite continuously happens. For example, you want a particular level of achievement in life, a certain kind of lifestyle, but no matter how hard you try, you find yourself always in lack. You get it? Another thing, you probably may be wanting, say, a happy marriage, but no matter how hard you try, the marriage is not coming. And even the people that come your way are not giving you the kind of life that you had expected you will have. You get it? Or you have you want to live in peace with people, but you just can't help with the anger. Like, you don't know. Everything just seems to be going wrong. Those are blueprints. Those are things that have lived from one generation and be handed down to a generation. You have to understand that in as much as we send down cultures, we pass down cultures, we also pass down habits, we pass down attitudes, we pass down behaviors. Some people just grow up, get to a particular stage in life, and they just can't help but get into cigarettes or drugs or alcohol. You get it? Some, they just get to a particular stage in life, they just have this insatiable desire for sex. Like, they cannot zip up or close their legs. They're just moving from one to the next. Something is wrong. And they want to be different. You see, they want to enjoy a different kind of experience. But it's, no matter how hard they try, it's still not happening. You get it? There is a generational problem at hand here. The blueprint has been written. So, no matter the effort they're making, it gets watered down. No matter how high they struggle to go, they fall back down. Because the roots from which they're bearing their fruits is in control. It will always be in control because that's where the nutrients and everything are being tapped from. You get it? Take an example of a tree. If you see a beautiful fruit on a tree, it means that the roots of that tree are healthy. If the fruit is not doing well, it's not pruning the leaves, will not help it unless you go back to fixing the roots, the soil on which that root is tapping from which, you see, we have to break free from certain generational curses. In fact, from all generational curses that are aligned to the things that we want to achieve in life. You understand? And so let's get to it, like right now. The very first thing you want to do is identify the patterns. Look at that which you want in your life. For example, you want a man, you want to marry, right? Look at, or you want a relationship that can last. You don't want a separation or a divorce. You want a marriage that will stay and last and be loving, not one that you're just coping in, but one that you're actually enjoying. You get it? But you're not having it. What do? Look at the patterns that I need and trace that pattern to your mom and your dad. Go further down to grandma and grandpa. Go down again to grandma, great grandma and great grandpa. How do you do that? Ask questions. Ask your mom. For your mom, the situation might just be easier because it's something you just experienced. If you were not raised by your mom, ask the people that raised you because their lives are your blueprints. You understand? The people you looked up to. Ask the questions. Look at the patterns in your life now and theirs. Like, what was theirs like? What was the marriage situation like? Apply this to any other struggle you're having or any other thing you're trying to achieve. You understand? And you're struggling so hard but not getting it. Take that situation, look at it as far as you are concerned, as far as the people who raised you are concerned. It could be your mom or dad, your auntie, uncle. Even if you came from an orphanage, who were those people that were directly in charge of you? Those people, what was their life like? Because that is your blueprint. Like whatever life you were living has become your blueprint. You cannot help it. Okay? It's nature. We are brought into the world and we take from the places where we are being raised. But life will always give us a chance to rewrite our own stories. You get it? So when you get to that point where you're really struggling, that is life calling your attention onto rewriting those stories. It's rather sad that most of us go through those moments and eventually walk it to the end of our lives here and never ever breaking free. You get it? But if you have gotten to that point where you really feel like, something needs to be done, yes, something needs to be done, let's do it. Good. So identify the patterns. You really need to know the origin. You cannot solve a problem from the surface. You get it? You want to know, why are the women in my family not getting married? Why do their marriages not look beautiful? Why is it not enjoyable? Why is my family always in lack? What is going on? You get it? Look at it. Find the pattern. Why do I find why is it so hard for me to be a manager somewhere? Or like why is it hard for me to be in that leadership role? Why do my family members not get into leadership positions? What's happening? Look at how much effort I've made. Why do my family members not have the education that they desire to have? Or the experiences look at the patterns. Trace it right down. What was grandma's life like? What was grandpa's life like? Identify that struggle. Like find the patterns related to your struggle. Okay? Down the line, you will see something. Ask questions. You will hear what you need to hear. You will see something. Let's take a typical example of a marriage, right? Or let's say lack. You look at your parents' life and you realize, no, they didn't have, or maybe there was deep mismanagement. Maybe that's why I'm not able to manage myself, or maybe I'm not able to manage my finances. Maybe there was so much neglect. Maybe that's why, look at the way I'm living here. I'm trying so I really want to be connected to my kids, but I don't understand. I'm trying, but it's not working. I really want to enjoy this marriage, but I'm trying so hard, it's not working. Why? What's happening? I'm doing my best. I can really see that this other person is making the effort, but I find it really hard to bond. It's not happening. You get it? Or maybe it's business, it's finances. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but it's not working. What's going on? You get it? Identify that pattern. Look at that which you're struggling with. You get it? Maybe it's having a man that will love you, treat you, cater for you, but you're trying your best to look in a way that can attract those people. You find yourself going to those places even where they are, but you still cannot. Like they don't even look your way. What's up? Was it the same thing with my sisters? Was it the same thing with my aunties? Was it the same thing with my guardians and their sisters? You have to, because that those people or that person that was directly in charge of you has, like, they have set the pace for you. You just don't know it, but that is what your subconscious has come to know. That is what your mind knows. You get it? But you can rewrite that story. So, starting by identifying that pattern is your first and very important step. Now, when you've identified the pattern, get into the second step, which is to find the pain points, the areas of affliction, the reasons behind the pattern. You get it? This is the place where you want to know why they do or they did certain things, why they do the things they do, why they think the way they think, what is happening. You get it? Where did this whole thought pattern or this whole behavioral situation start from? If my parents were, for example, let's say I was raised by people who were drunks, what happened that they became drunkard? Was it also something that was handed down to them? It was something that was passed down to them. Then you'll be asking, what happened to grandma and grandpa? You know? And sometimes it will take you right down to great, great, great. You get it before you hear the original story. And then you see how the cope mechanism became the generational problem. You get it? Because now they passed it down. So this is how it happens. It's like, let's use the alcohol situation I just used. Trouble happens, and then they did not address the trouble. They dealt with it in their own way by drowning it. Now they've had kids, and that's what the kids have gone to see. So now when trouble happens, they don't deal with it, they drown it. You get it? So they to get into the alcohol, it just becomes something that they know, like an option. You get it? Even if they don't want to think it, their subconscious will bring them to it because that is what it has been feeding on since you came into that space, into that environment. You get it? But the good news again is you can rewrite that story, and that's what we're doing. So you find that pain point because you want to know where it all started, what happened. If you look at your own life and you see that your pain point or the problem you're having has a pain point that started very close by, look at the people, the perpetrators of that pain point, and you will see what drove them into that which they did to you or said to you. So you will still see the pain point. You realize that what happened to them is what they were passing down to you through the things they did to you or the things they said to you. You get what I'm saying? I hope you do. So when you find the pain point, you're moving now to the third stage of it. Because I mean, when you see the areas where that have the cause, the reasons for the pain, what do you do with it? You get to that environment, get into that place where you do total forgiveness. Like you're going to practice total forgiveness. When I talk about total forgiveness, I'm not saying you just get there and you're like, I forgive you, I forgive you. It will never work. There are steps you follow to rid yourself of things like that. That's a place where some people would want to do counseling and therapy. But if you cannot afford counseling and therapy, I'm going to do a video on the forgiveness patterns, like the steps that you take to rid yourself of such pain. But in a nutshell, you're going to practice forgiveness in 3 dimensions. You're going to forgive everyone and anyone that was connected to that pattern, right down to the origin of it, even the ones that you did not meet or did not know about. You're going to forgive them. Why? If they knew any better, they would have done differently. So everything they did, which you now inherited, or which they did to you, was them handling their own issues. That was their own way of handling their own issues. That's what they knew. That was their own blueprint, and that's what they passed down to you. You understand? So you have to release them with the understanding that if they knew better, they would have done better. Because that's the truth. Nobody, like the Bible tells us that no one lights a lamp and puts it under the bed, right? Then the second dimension of forgiveness is asking God for forgiveness. You understand? whatever way you have participated in that pattern, you get it? Because if you find out that there is a generational problem you're dealing with, like it or not, you have taken part in it by your own actions, by your own behaviors. So that's the point where you ask for total, like, Lord, forgive me. And you confess. This is where confession is so powerful. You get it? The Bible tells us to confess our sins unto one another. There are things you've done wrong, yeah, Lord, forgive me. I really didn't do well. And you feel peace. But there are others you've done and it has negatively impacted the lives of other people. Right? Like you can see the damage it has caused. Just saying, forgive me, Lord. Of course, the moment you say God forgives you, that's a fact. Yeah. But you would still be finding it hard to move away from that particular situation because you have not exposed that evil. I don't know if I'm putting it right. You have to expose a thief, for the thief to leave you alone. Bottom line. You get it? Yes. That's why for us Catholics, we go and we confess to the priest. It's not because we don't confess our sins to God. We do, but we know the importance of exposing the thief. You get it? Because when you expose that thief, he loses his hold on you. He cannot blackmail you any longer. You know why people blackmail people is because they know that they are afraid of what might happen if that thing they did or said is brought into the open. You get it? So for us, confessing to a priest plays that same role. We are exposing that thief. So we are getting ourselves free from any form of blackmail. You understand? Yeah. So that's by the way. But what I'm saying here is that confess your sin. Confess. Ask God for forgiveness. And then the third dimension now is forgiving yourself. Yes. This is where you completely release yourself from any connection you have to your participation in the generational curses, in the generational problems, in the patterns. You understand? So you're releasing yourself. You're saying, yes, I did those things and I am sorry I did them. I would have done better if I knew better. And so I shall not live in that space any longer. I shall not be in need any longer. I want to start afresh. You get it? I forgive myself. Like I let go of me, of the negative. I let go of it. You get it? Forgive yourself. When you're done with that, with forgiveness, here comes the fourth stage of this whole process. And that is to, rewrite your story. Change the blueprint. This is the point where you say, you write down the things you want and you write down clearly how you plan to get those things and clearly how the effort you're going to make. I'm saying write them down because it's going to be like a vision board. You understand? That is the print you're now setting for yourself. In it, you have to put down like what you're going to be doing in the course of all of this. Like if I find myself facing a situation, I will not attribute it to that generational problem because I'm free from it. Now I'll be able to look at it as from a different perspective. What did I miss? You get it? Or what did I do? What did I not do correctly? So now because I'm starting the new line. I'm freeing my own part of the family tree. You get it? And I'm starting a new generation. You get it? So this is that point where I'm rewriting my story. This is the story that is going to continue from here. This is where the healing has started and the fruits that will continue bearing from this branch have to be good fruits. So I'm going to start putting in the things that I know the roots connected to me need, which is love. Love. Love, guys. Love is the only thing that breaks those bonds. Nothing else. That will keep you flowing, keep you going, keep you moving ahead. Love. That will mean I will be approaching every situation with a desire to give it my best. You get it? And I will continue to work on me so that at every point, my best feels better. You get it? Like if today I came to the house hugging everybody, but not smiling, that was the best I could do at that point. Given maybe the stress I've been through, I could just hug. But now I want that tomorrow if I come in, I'm not only going to hug you, but I'm going to hug you and I'm going to smile along with it. So now my best is getting better. You see what I'm talking about? But at every point, I'm approaching it with a form, with love, because I plan on giving it my best. You get it? Yes, I have this desire to give it my best, and desire is something you cultivate. You have to build on it, and that takes me to the very fifth and the last part of this whole process: is prayer, prayer, meditation. Prayer here, not just about talking to God, but particularly about listening, about to God, about meditating, about contemplating the beauty before you, the beauty inside of you, growing in that knowledge of self. You get it? Knowing you and accepting you. You want to grow spiritually in the knowledge of self, that consciousness of self. God created us for such great things. You want to know you, find your purpose. This is the place where you don't just want to work, you don't just want to marry, but you want to marry for a reason. You get it? You don't just want a good reason, a reason that shows that you want to bring in goodness wherever you go, not because you just want people to love you and care for you. You get it? Rewrite those blueprints. Rewrite the story. You want to succeed in life, not just because you want to make a difference in your family, not just because you want to be that different, but because you know what your success can do for in the lives of a multitude. You get it? That's the real reason for success. Of I mean, so you want to look into that, and let me know if you if this helps. I'll really be glad to know if you can practice this and share with me. Everything I've shared with you are things that I did myself, and it was a blessing. So I really hope that this helps you. I know the video has been really long, and the topic warranted something like that. So I hope it helps, and let me know how it goes with you. That will be it from my end. Take good care of you. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up so that others can get to watch it. Take good care of you. Stay blessed. Bye.